Hi, my name is Natasha Wellfare. I'm a mental health counsellor, and one of my areas of specialisation is working with parents and with children. I wanted to make a short video today with regard to managing anxiety as the children return to school on the 8th of March following a really long period of lockdown. I think the first stage with this, and often this is a stage that we could potentially miss, is to just check in with ourselves and figure out how we might be feeling as parents about them returning to school. Do we have any sort of fears or anxieties about them going back? And this is really important because when we come to sit down with our children, we want to be really careful not to project our own fears and anxieties onto them. So just take some space to reflect, turn inward. How am I feeling about the children going back to school? Then we need to sit down with the kids and have a chat with them. But think about, how your particular child, would prefer to have that conversation. Sometimes it might feel less pressurized to have it in the car, or perhaps when you're moving around in the garden or going out for a walk. We want to ask, a really simple, open question. How are you feeling about going back to school? So keep it really, really simple. And the next stage of this really is something that Dan Siegel calls name it to tame it. So as emotions start to come up, which they possibly will, we want to really help our children to name those emotions, to give language to those emotions. So we might say something to them like, I really hear that you're feeling scared, a little bit scared about going back to school. And what happens when we start to put language to those emotions is the left side of our children's brains squirt these soothing neurotransmitters down into the limbic area of their brains, the emotional part of their brains, and they simply start to calm down. So it's a really simple technique and it's a really important one. And, the next stage could be to start to normalise some of that stuff. So we want to validate how they're feeling, and then we want to normalise how they're feeling. So we might say something like, I wonder if other kids are feeling that way too. So we're not telling our children what to think and what to feel. I wonder if other kids are feeling a bit scared. And we're just helping them to realise that they're probably not the only one. We want to provide as much information as we can. So whatever you know about your children's return to school, whatever new routines or practices that might be in place with regards to testing, start having those conversations. For example, we know on the first day back that we're going to have the test. Remember, we talked about it. So the children can start to visualise how things might be different. And that's a really important part of their preparation. We can also start to talk about safety measures, and we can say, the teachers and the schools are really good about putting things in place to help keep us safe. What measures do you think will be, what new rules will be there to help keep you safe? And the children will probably identify for themselves, oh, we do the hand washing. Oh, we do the distance. And, you can start to sort of reassure them in that way as you start to just remember all of those measures that they've probably already experienced when they were last back in school. Now, this is a really important one. We need to start re-establishing their routine. At least a week before they go back, we need to start setting those alarm clocks at the same time in the morning, starting to get those bedtimes back to normal. And even the eating, the times of eating, we want to start we want to start having breakfast at the normal time, lunch at the normal time, as much as you can do to get their body back into the routine of already thinking it's back at school. That will really, really help them to prepare. And I think by way of conclusion here, really, as parents, we've got to let go of this idea of perfect parenting or of, perfect pupilling, even if you like, and just work with the idea of having a good enough first day back at school or a good enough first week back at school. If you need some additional support, speak to the school, absolutely. Speak to somebody like me, and perhaps you might even need to speak to your GP, but know that those options are available. So I really hope everyone, parents and children alike, have a good enough first week back at school, first day back at school. And if you need additional support, please feel free to get in touch.